Hello everybody and welcome to another London bus restoration video from Routemaster for Hire. In this video it's all about engines. Okay, so when I say engines I mean more about an engine change. This is RM1214. This is the engine we put in about 18 months to 2 years ago, and as you can see the header tank has an awful lot of water stains on it. Look at the rust on it. And the reason why that's happening is because there's a lot of water coming out of the overflow. Why is that happening? Because the head gaskets have gone. So we need to change the head gaskets of this engine. Now you can do that with the engine in the bus, but we've decided we're going to make an awful lot more work for ourselves and swap things around a little bit. Now this is RM1783, our open topper, and if you've watched some of our earlier videos you'll know that the engine in this bus is the more powerful AV690 engine. Every other Routemaster in the fleet has the standard AV590. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 690 out of the open topper and put it into RM1214. RM1214's engine, the one that needs the head gaskets doing, is going to become our spare engine. And the engine that is currently our spare engine, that I've had for about 7 years and has literally been sat on the shelf gathering dust all that time, is going to go into the open topper. Confused? Yeah, so am I. But keep watching, all will be explained and all will come hopefully crystal clear as we go through this video. Okay, so this is the spare engine. Now I've had this for about 7 years and all that time it's been sat in the unit just gathering dust. We've never put it in a bus and we've never run it. Now I have seen the engine running because the seller made sure that it was running before I bought it, and when I went over to have a look at it he had it running for me and it was running nice. So I've no reason to think that it's not going to run nice. Now we're going to put it in a bus. So the plan is now we're going to put it in the open topper and run it for a couple of months just to give it a bit of exercise. Now before we do that though, we're going to give it a good clean, and of course we're going to give it a paint as well. Okay, there we have it. The engine is painted, and doesn't it look so much nicer in silver than what it did in blue. Now there's still a couple of ancillaries to go on the engine. The fuel pump needs to go on, and around the other side the water pump needs to be put on too. And when we've done those little jobs, this engine is just about ready to go in the open topper. There it is. Oh, there's a problem already, Tim. What? There's no pointer marker. So we're going to have to guess that.
What is it usually?
It normally has a plate here, doesn't it, with a pointer on it.
Yeah, we've done this one.
Have we got a spare one, have we?
Yeah, there's one on that end that's good for it.
Problem solved already. Right, so here's the guide that marks top dead centre on the flywheel. We're taking this off a spare engine. So what I'm going to do is just put it on temporarily for now. I'll mark top dead centre, get the pump on, and then I'll take this back off and we'll give it a paint job. Right, so with the flywheel on top dead centre, we have to check the drive to the fuel pump and make sure that is at the right orientation. Now there's a mark across the top here, so I know we are right. You have to check this because the flywheel does 2 revolutions to the drive unit that does 1 revolution. So you could be 180 degrees out. But in this case, we're spot on for both. This is so much easier doing this with the engine on the ground. We've struggled doing this loads of times with the engine still in the bus. This is a lot easier. Okay, so Tim has just put in the last few bits on, just the injector pipes, and we are pretty much 90% there on the fuel side of this engine. The leak-off pipes are still going to go on, and some of the other hoses that we can only connect when the engine goes back into the bus. But it's looking pretty good. We are making progress, aren't we, Timothy?
We are.
Okay, so there you have it. The spare engine has been cleaned, it's been painted, and is now ready to go in the open topper. The fuel pump is in, the injector pipes have all been done, all the leak-off pipes, they've been replaced, and I've replaced a whole load of the fuel hoses as well. And on this side of the engine, a brand new overhauled water pump. But how long will it last? We shall see. Also on this side of the engine, all the water hoses have been replaced. There's still lots of hoses to go on here, but we can't do these hoses until the engine is in the bus. So this engine is now ready to go in the open topper. But before we can do that, of course, we've got to take that 690 out. And that's what we're going to crack on with next.
It's day 1 of swapping engines, and the 690 is coming out of the open topper to go in 1214. So the first job to do, drain the water out, take the wing off and the front grille, and start stripping down. Just disconnect the headlight cable. That's all the water out the bus, and just a little bit dripping now. Radiator, that's the next to come off. So 2 3/4 spanners, and off it will come. I've already taken the top hose off.
As you can see, we've got some extra help today. This is Gary. Say hello, Gary. Hello. Thought you were going to go, hello, Gary. That's what most people do.
Hi, I'm the T-bitch. I keep everything running. You having a brew, Gary?
Bloody awkward, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is one of the awkwardest jobs to do, is it?
Yeah, that's why we gave it to you. Have you done the prop shaft bolts?
No, no.
I've only been here an hour and a half, not 3.5 hours.
That's another awkward job. We give that to Gary as well.
Just give me all the awkward ones. It'd be like working on a car.
My overalls are nice and clean. Can you smell? Can you smell me? Nice and clean. Now, there is a story there. Why my overalls are nice and clean? Because we had to buy a washing machine for the unit. And the reason for that is because my wife banned me from taking my overalls home. And I was a bit of a naughty boy. She went away for the weekend. I'd been wearing these overalls for about 6 months without washing them because I couldn't take them home and wash them. So while she was away for the weekend, I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sneak these into the washing machine. So that's what I did. Got them washed and dried while she's away. After I washed them, I rinsed the washing machine out twice on a hot wash So it's nice and clean and brand new, ready for when she came home. That following week, when she came home, she did a whitewash and some of the stuff came out with oil stains. So I was in the doghouse. So we've had to buy a washing machine now for the unit. Okay, so that is everything disconnected, both underneath the engine, on the side of the engine and on the top of the engine. So all we've got to do now is lift it out once the bus is on the floor.
What's that?
I said I'm looking forward to hearing it running again.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Video will be like that.
I know.
Now we have to take you shopping in Asda.
Right, go too far, Dave. Keep going. I found this trick before, then come back because then it turns the wheels round.
Oh, good idea.
Right, that'll do. Drop it down there.
Well, I don't know. Actually, it's only a little bit, isn't it?
Keep an eye on it.
Right.
That's better.
Do you want to go too far because of the flywheel?
Yeah, no. Right, you pull.
Easy now.
Chubbs has got it on his own.
Yeah, I see. Just come and change around the way now.
Oh, hang on.
We need a bit of height now, do we?
Yeah, like that.
Oh, shit, you want to get them Just getting them wheels in the right position.
We are
aren't
on
we?
those pipes, that's it.
Yeah, you're fine this side. Mind you don't slip over.
I have had wheel slip.
You pull with Chubbs there.
We've got to get over this little lip now, in the floor.
I'm trying not to scratch the firewall too much.
Right, Gary and Tim are connecting that spare engine, putting it back inside the open topper. While they're doing that, it's my job to sort out the fuel filter. Now on a Routemaster, they have the cloth style fuel filters and and an RT. Oh. And you have to kind of pleat it on, and an RF. So various London buses, you have to pleat it back on to the bus. And as you can see, I'm kind of attempting to do that now and making a right hash of it. There is a real art to it. The one that came off, it was pleated like that. Let's get out the shot. So it's pleated very nicely. My pleats aren't quite as nice, but let's keep going. Let's see if I can do this nice. Okay, so that is not the neatest of jobs. That's my effort. Whoever did this before, that was their effort. So that effort was a lot neater and smarter than mine, but as long as it filters the fuel, it doesn't matter what it looks like, really, does it?
I'm tightening the prop shaft bolts up. And there's loads of them. The last time I done the prop shaft was on a Mark II Escort. Every car's front wheel drive now, or most of them are. 2 more to do and I'll go around and make sure they're all tight.
Trying to get the hose in.
Nearly there, just put in the oil and water in and it'll be ready to run up. So I've already put about 15 litres in and we're just topping it up to the mark. Then we can put the water in as well. No, we'll let that settle and then check the dipstick again.
Now, in case you're wondering why we're not using any antifreeze, there is a method in our madness. Have you seen how expensive antifreeze is now? So what we're doing is just going to fill it with water, and when we know everything is nice and dry and nothing is leaking, then we'll drain it out and we'll do a 50-50 mix. But obviously, if you've watched some of our earlier videos, you'll know the problems we've had with water pumps. That's a new overhauled water pump. I don't trust it. So there's no point wasting hundreds of pounds worth of antifreeze until we know everything is nice and dry and working. All right, here we go. It's the moment of truth.
Yeah, shit or bus time.
Have we been wasting our time?
Yeah.
No.
Shit or bust. That's the word of the day.
Yeah.
Phrase of the day.
Right, put your foot on the floor.
That's
You
sticking.
can move that pipe, don't you?
Where's it sticky?
It's getting to there and sticking.
Where?
There.
Yeah.
And then I have to push hard to get it down the bottom.
Do it again.
Oh, it's stopped now.
Do you know why? Look, I've got. Do you know why, Tim? Look,
What's that?
I'm pulling that pipe away from there. It must be just clicked. See?
Ah, it's just catching the pipe.
Let go again, Gary.
Go on, do it again. Yeah, look. It shouldn't be sticking now.
No, it's
Right,
not.
I'll let go. Try it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that pipe in it.
Yeah.
It'll be alright to get it going, I think, won't it?
Are you ready?
Wind it over.
Do we have fuel?
Yeah.
Here we go. I think it only sounds rough because the timing's out.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
The pump timing.
Yeah.
Try that.
Has Timothy gone the right way?
that, but don't put your foot in it. Just try and start it without touching anything.
Without nothing on the pedals, no?
Yeah. That can't be fine. Really want to start like that. Right, try again there.
Everything clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you've seen, we got it going. It's not sounding quite right at the moment, but we think there's a couple of valves unseated. But I guess that's probably only to be expected because the engine has stood around for at least 15 years. So the plan is we're going to put everything back together, get the wing and the radiator grille back on, and we're going to take it on a road run. We've been here now for 12 hours. It's 9 o'clock at night. We started at 9 this morning. So it's been a good long 12-hour shift. And we are, what? Oh, sorry. Tim was here from 7:30. I was here from 9. We've put in a good long shift. We're all starving hungry, so we're going to go for an Indian, and we're going to take the bus down the road at the same time. How about that for killing 2 birds with 1 stone? Okay, so we're on the road run and we're on our way to the Indian. We are all absolutely starving. We've been at it for 13 long hours. We've had a laugh, we've had a giggle, but of course we got the job done. Now there are 1 or 2 teething problems on this engine. We kind of knew that, so we're going to tackle those over the next couple of weeks. Now we're going to be in early doors tomorrow morning because we're going to do it all over again. We're going to be tackling that engine that has the problem with the head gaskets on RM1214. So that engine is coming out. That will become our spare engine once we've done the heads. And of course the engine that we took out of this bus, the 690, is going into RM1214. So that's going to happen tomorrow, but for now, we're on our way to the Indian, we're going to fill our boots, we're all absolutely starving hungry. Oh dear. I think I might have spoken a bit too soon. That doesn't sound too good. And we've not even made it to the Indian restaurant yet. Looks like dinner might have to wait. The thing is, we're on a dual carriageway at the moment, so Tim can't really stop. So we're going to find a lay-by and pull over and have a look. It's coming up to one now.
Can you see what it's done?
No, I think it's from here somewhere. Oh, it's this one here, look.
Day 2 of swapping engines, and considering this engine hasn't run for what we think is probably 20 odd years, it didn't do too bad on the way to go and get curry last night. There's a few little problems. There's some injectors that have come loose that's blowing fuel up the injector sleeves. So we don't know how long these injectors have been in, so we've got an overhauled set that will come out the other engine that are going to go into here, which will be much better. And then we'll get these done ready for when we rebuild the other engine as a spare. Yeah, pretty pleased.
And while Tim's cracking on with doing the injectors on the open topper, I'm going to make a start on removing the engine on 1214.
As you can see from the state of some of these, they've obviously not been out for quite a long time, and the nozzles are quite badly carboned up. So it's no wonder that it was a little bit smoky and not running very well, so it's a good job we're changing them.
Right, okay, so after a new set of injectors and a little bit of tinkering with the timing, let's see how the bus performs on its... Let's see how the bus performs on its second trip out. It's sounding a lot better, this engine. Probably nice. Over the speed bumps and away we go. Quiet, and the engine's coming down on the roads a lot quicker today as well, which is good. We're still smoking a bit. In fact, we're smoking quite a lot. A bit of a hill now, see how she goes. Not bad. Lost a little bit of speed, but kept it going in fourth, which is the main thing. And a little bit of black smoke coming out of the exhaust now, which is normal. Just keeping my eye on the water temperature gauge, and we're about 70 degrees now. Should sit at about 82. Another little hill, bit of black smoke. Again, that's totally normal. When we get to the top of the hill, that should clear. Not to be smoking as much. Cleared a little bit. Still a little bit there, but it's not as bad as it was when we first set off. Almost flat out. About 42 miles an hour. I got my foot to the floor. She's still going. Change down, let's go again. Again, foot to the floor, a little bit of black smoke. Temperature's up to 80 degrees again, totally normal. On our way to Greg's, and what's the other one? I'll stop waiting. Just easing off the governor, and she's sitting nicely at 40 miles an hour. No smoke now whatsoever. On the roundabout coming up, a bit of a traffic jam coming up. Into second gear. Just a little cue for the roundabout, we'll be going again in a minute. Temperature's creeping up to about 85. Keep my eye on that. Don't really want it to go any higher, really. Indicate right. Here we come to the garage. Okay, so the second run's so much better than the first run last night when we had a couple of problems. But yeah, pleased with that. We're at the garage now, so it's time to go and get some lunch. And Tim's going to drive it back. Aaron's cable doesn't want to switch the engine off though. I can't switch it off in here. Tim did it for me.
Still leaking.
What's that?
Still leaking, or is it?
No, it's alright.
That should be shut.
Is the water leaking? No? Oh, that's alright. Excellent.
It sounds lovely, doesn't
It
it?
does, doesn't it? It sounds really nice.
And the smoke cleared as well, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I noticed that it black smokes when you accelerate away, which isn't... The others don't do that.
What's it do if you just back off a bit?
Yeah, if you back it, once you've got to your speed and you've eased off, it stops. Right, let's go and get a chicken slice.
Any better?
Yeah, it's much better. Yeah. Really good. Okay, so we're just back from lunch and the second road test was much better than the first one last night. After the tweaking this morning and fitting those new injectors, it's running as sweet as a nut. And I've got some interesting facts, or rather Mr. Jones has some interesting facts about this engine that we just put in, the open topper.
Yes, that's right. This spare engine that's been sitting on our shelf for the last God knows how many years. 7 years. 7 years on the shelf. It's actually quite a special engine because it came out of RM652, which, as any Routemaster historian will know, was the first RM to go to Scotland when deregulation hit in 1986, and it remained in the bus up until the point where the bus got modified and got converted to Dartmaster spec by Marshalls in Cambridge in 2000. So yeah, quite a special engine there, Dave.
Good. Okay, so we now know that this engine hasn't actually run since 2000. So 22 years it's been sat on the shelf, 7 of those years on my shelf. Previously it was owned by someone else and they just had it as a spare as well. So it's not done too bad for not running for 22 years, and now it's running as sweet as a nut. And it's also a famous engine because when it was in Scotland it was part of the Rodney the Routemaster.
That's right, yeah. All the Routemasters in the Clydeside fleet were given different names. Rodney, what was the others?
Don't know.
I can't remember off the top of my head now.
I couldn't tell you. So this engine is from Rodney the Routemaster, and if you've ever got those books, they're children's books, then it's a famous engine.
Yeah. And apparently when it was in Rodney in Scotland, the bus was treated as the garage pet, so it didn't do all that many miles. So we're quite lucky in that respect, Dave.
So there you go, a little bit of history about the new engine we've just put in the open topper. Okay, so while Alan is outside putting a couple of finishing touches onto that engine on the open topper, as you can see inside the unit here, Tim and Gary are just undoing the final couple of things before we can take this engine out. And remember, this is the engine that needs the heads doing, so that's going to go on the shelf as our spare. And then that 690 that we took out the open topper yesterday is going in to 1214.
We're ready,
Yeah, go on. Slow one.
Oh! You alright?
Well, you might as well carry on.
Yeah, okay.
Bastard it.
Right, slippery floor. Right, up the floor. 1, 2.
Go on, boys, you got it.
Right, go that way. Whatever you do, don't stop. Right, up towards Dave, towards Dave. Keep going. Oh, that's it.
Right.
It's one knackered engine.
And a pair of knackered bodies.
Hot sweet tea, that's what you need.
It's most important to sit down and take 5 minutes when you're in the middle of a big job. And Jess wants a cuddle too, don't you? Yeah? Is it cuddle time? Don't make me face. You're going to come for a ride when we get this engine running? Yeah? You're going to come for a ride? Yeah? I need to go back to work, don't I? All the boys are over there working and I'm sitting there cuddling the dog. That's not fair, is it? You want some more strokes, do you? Okay. Obviously she didn't say stop. Well, oh, she wants another stroke. And another. Right, go on, you get down. Find the camera.
All on the count of 3. If we all do it the same time.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Nearly.
Fucking 5 people can't move.
1, 2, 3. Push. Oh.
Watch yourselves.
1, 2, 3.
Not moving.
You do well, lads.
You doing the moon dance? The moonwalk?
I thought Jacko was dead.
He's doing the Irish one going forwards. It is gone. But
It is.
that'll do. Just push it forward a bit.
Hey.
Oh, hang on.
Right, slide.
Right, see if you can bring the back end round a bit, yeah?
So here we are, it's midnight and it's been another long day. There's only me and Tim here now, everybody else has gone home. And we're just about to get this 690 started on RM1214. And you may be wondering why we've gone to all this effort over the last 2 days to put a 690 back on RM1214. Well, you know the story about the heads that need changing on the 590 that came out. But the main reason why we put a 690 back in this bus is because this bus is fitted with a mid-range diff. Now that gives about an extra 8 miles an hour top speed with a 590. So with a 690 under the bonnet, we're going to get probably a top speed of around 55 to 56 miles an hour in this bus. And that's much better for us on longer distances when we're doing journeys on faster roads. It means we can keep up with the flow of the traffic much, much better and is therefore much safer. So let's see if we can get this 690 started and let's take this bus out for another test drive. with that more powerful 690 and that mid-range diff, RM1214 is a right little rocket of a Routemaster. Well worth all that effort swapping all those engines around and putting that 690 in this bus. And on that note, I'd like to thank Tim, also Alan and Gary and Chubbs for all the extra hours they put in swapping these engines around. The effort has been well worth it, thank you guys. And I'd like to thank you for watching so far as well. If you're enjoying this video, remember hit that like button. If you've got any comments or questions, please put them in the box below. Our work isn't done yet on this project. Remember, we've got those head gaskets to change on the engine that came out of this bus. And that is what we're going to be cracking on with very, very soon. Okay, so there you have it. The spare engine is now ready to go in the open topper. The fuel pump has been fitted. The injector pipes are all done. Oh, apart from that one.
I'm struggling to get this exhaust bracket in the right location. Not easy to sort of, hang on.
Look, he's talking to camera. Of course he wants a brew. Right, start again.
I'm struggling to get this bracket lined up.
Gary? Gary, do you want a brew?
I'll have a brew, yeah.
I can't find the hole. No. 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 I burnt my arm on the fucking pipe.
Just hope the fucking thing doesn't break down.